only fitting should our next lesson, which is lesson 9, be on my Sparkle Bella, because we colored Edward the time before on his blue jeans, and we're going to work on brunette hair. And I'm going to give you my favorite brunette combination. Now, I'm going to just tell you ahead of time that you're just going to have to trust me. The colors don't always seem to blend real well, but in the end, I think it does a good job. I use E29, E25, and E31. Now, E31 is one of those weird colors that don't necessarily blend with its own color family so much. There's an awful lot of solvent in it. I think that that's what makes a difference. Once again, we're going to use our basic premise on hair. We're going to color piece by piece, and we're also going to make the darkest by the face. And I think brunettes, I like the look of brunettes, although I think sometimes the brunettes can be a little difficult and a little bit of a challenge to color. Now, I'm just going to start with this little piece by her face. I'm not going to go ahead and do the whole thing. I'm going in with my E25 for a blend, and you'll see why. This E31 is definitely a challenge. And the reason why I say this is because E31 has a lot of solvent to it, and it pushes the colors a lot. And the way that you lay down the E31 is going to be different than you would normally lay down a regular color. Now, I have already gone into her face with the marker color, and that's why I always like to do faces after I do hair. Now, I'm going to add in my E31, and I'm going to blend into that. And you can see there's a dramatic difference between that E31 and the E25. And at first glance, you think, oh my gosh, that does not blend even slightly. And you would be right. The colors don't blend real well together. They push each other, but let me tell you, with the magic of blending on the tip here, or bending on the side, you add in a little color. And what you're actually doing is you're actually blending the colors. Instead of doing a tip-to-tip blending, you're actually blending the colors on the paper. I'm just laying in a really light coat sideways of that color. Now I'm going back over with a light coat of my E31. And it's okay if I slop that on the other hair. And you can see there's a real nice gradient of color now. You almost have to blend these colors on the paper. And I'm going to go a little bit more into my dark here. Let's go with just the tip. I want it to be very well blended. I don't want her to have bad streaks. I don't want her to have a bad hair job. And as you know, Bella's kind of got a dark brown hair color. Now, once again, I've covered up a little of this E31. I'm going to go back through the sideways or just on the tip and adding that color in so it's smooth. Okay, now this really drives me a little crazy when I get on her face. Sorry. I really should give up being a perfectionist, because I'm no good at being a perfectionist, first of all. It's impossible, but also because it just bothers me. Okay, so once again, by her face is dark, we're going to break off this chunk. And the underneath the hair tends to be darker by the body. I'm going in with my E29. Okay, I'm also going to E29 right there. Now, some people find coloring of the hair is more difficult with lines. Some people like it better without lines. I prefer the lines. I think that they give you a direction that the hair is growing. Now, once again, the E25 and E29, because that they are far away in the color family, they don't blend as well as you might think that they would. The E29 is really dark. It does require a lot of blending between those two, as well as the E25 and the E31. But I really think that once you get the colors going, that they're great. And I believe it was Pat who asked about, you know, putting colors together that aren't in the same color family. And this is one of those colors. And if you look on your Copic color chart, your hand color chart that you've colored, you can put a lot of those colors together that are non-traditional type of colors. I'm going to go in with my E31. And once again, it's just going to kind of lay on top and look yucky. And it's at this point you say to yourself, whoever picked these colors to go together? I don't even remember where I found the combination, but I remember thinking to myself, oh my goodness, this is a mess. Now I'm going to go with my side. Okay, I'm going over. And I'm going to be doing my blending. And because I'm putting such a little amount of marker on with the side, that it allows this E31 to blend into it. And this may take a time or two. It's a lot easier when you use a smaller portion of hair. And you can start to see it blend there even on tape. I might need to make another pass of it. But this really is my very favorite brown color. It requires a lot of work though, but it is my favorite. Just think it always turns out so nicely. Over here a little bit. And the E31 is actually a really light earth tone color. There we go. Once again, okay, go over that spot. When you are fixing mistakes, the darker the color, the more times it's going to take to fix it. All right, now that I'm getting closer to my light source, and I'm calling my light source kind of over here, okay? I usually use a side profile light source. It's just the way I like. I'm going to use less and less dark. That dark now is just like for to help its one strand stand up from the next. Okay. Bring in my E25 again. My E31. And once again, to me, might not be to you, you guys are getting really awesome. The hair, I think, is one of the hardest things to color. I'm going to go back with my E25 and use my blending on the paper technique. That's weird. And I want my highlights to be stronger over here because the light's hitting it over here. But there you go. There's one side of Ella's hair. Okay, I'll show the finished cards to you at the beginning of the challenge. Good luck, and thanks for playing along this week. This is Lisa at creativecanines.blogspot.com.